Morning. Today we're going to take a look at the SAP Business One web client based on the Fiori principles. Now, the SAP Business One web client, it's a fantastic way to navigate through Business One. While it is fairly new, the technology behind it, that's what makes this phenomenal. We take a quick peek. The Fiori technology, one of the things SAP is very smart about this. All of the SAP products, from the SMB solutions to the Fortune 1000, software that runs a Fortune 1000 companies, it's all based on the Fiori technology. And that means that as you upgrade through the SAP Business One products, or use any of the products within the SAP Business One ecosystem, they're all built on the same technology, the same look and feel. And that's really important for the future of Business One. That way, users that might go from Business One, say, to S/4HANA will have a dramatically reduced learning curve because you'll already know the navigation and the Fiori components. So Fiori is a concept that SAP employs across all their products, and it's a fantastic platform for your ERP system. The technology is just phenomenal. All right, so in the web client itself here, this is what it looks like. What I have going across the top, these are my cockpits. And so I've got a CRM cockpit, sales, purchasing, all the way through production, post-sale support service, human resources, all the analytics that you could imagine, useful links, user-defined objects, which are your own data entry screens. Now, one of the unique things about the Fiori Foundation is that it gives our customers the ability to actually create their own data entry screens within the web UI. Where you don't have to be a programmer of any sort. You don't have to know HTML or any of that stuff. The tools come with the solution. And that's built into the Fiori Foundation. So when we talk about the web UI based on Fiori, it's more than just a look and feel. It's an underlying technology that helps companies that, especially with some non-technical users, the ability to literally create their own modules and data entry screens, if those are even needed within the Business One client. So anyways, moving back in, we've got our cockpits that go across the top. Then off to the top right here, when I click on this icon, this brings up my electronic in basket. And this shows me that I've got a weekly engineering review meeting. I've got a phone call I need to follow up on, a couple of more meetings. So I'm able to review my electronic in basket from any web-enabled device. Now, SAP also has a really neat feature with the online helps, where the online helps will actually go out and point things out to you. So where's the user area, the search? Where do I find the notifications? How can I upskill myself and become even more proficient within the web client? How do we integrate with Microsoft Teams? So I can actually send a quote through Teams to one of my team members for review, and they can send it back to me, and I can move on without any interruption, all digital. So anyways, great online help system. You've got a really good electronic in basket, and then of course, access to all of the areas of the system that you've been given access to. And on the far left here, I can then slide in my main menu, and you can see all of the modules that SAP Business One delivers out of the box. Now, I'm going to click on the user icon here for a moment, just to talk about how tailorable the web client is. So as an example, we'll start over here with the settings. So in here, I've got the ability to change the look and feel of my web client, determine how do I want my home page to work, languages, times, message preferences, and so forth. Just some general settings. It's very easy to tailor the web client. And then also, it's just as easy to tailor your home page. So if I click on here and I want to go into edit mode, now you can see I can drag and drop, move things around, change groups that they're in. I also have the ability to go out here into the widget gallery and add additional things, add additional objects into my web client. Again, I'll only see the things that I have access to see. So we'll go ahead and go back here and we'll close up the editor there. But again, very easy to tailor your look and feel of the home screen. Now, we'll just talk about the capability of the web client in general. But basically, it starts over here in customer relationship management, where you have the ability to manage things like opportunities. And an opportunity, it's not a quote, it's not an order. It's really just an interest by the customer. They're interested in some of your products and services. And based on the opportunities, I'm able to see how close are we, based on the stage of the opportunity, how close are we to closing this opportunity? Now, I got there by clicking on a tile. So all the tiles, they have the same characteristics. There's really 3 views of each one of these tiles. So when I drill down into my opportunities, I see a grid view here where I can, gauge my opportunities and I can sort however I want. I can sort ascending, descending. I can drag and drop, move columns around and whatnot. But what I want to do is show you the second view. The second view is called a chart view. And so if I click on my chart here, I now have the ability to do all kinds of charting right here at my fingertips. I don't have to know business intelligence by any means. I just need to decide, how do I want to view my data? And out of that data, how much do I want to view? So it's very, very easy to leverage the analytics. And that's part of the Fiori Foundation. I think that's the beauty of Fiori that our competitors just don't have. We get multiple views of our data with the Fiori Foundation that makes up this web client UI. So it really is a superior technology. So anyways, I can see and chart, and what I'm looking at here is I wanted to see what's the potential amount of my opportunities by year, a weighted amount, and what's my gross profit total. Now I'm looking at this by year, but I could come in here and say, you know what? I'd rather see this by month. And now I can look at this on a month-by-month basis. So again, you're able to make all kinds of changes and view this however you want to view it. Now, and then once I get the changes the way I want it, I have a drop-down list here where I can go ahead and save my changes. Now, you get a third view, which is called a card view. And this is where I'll see a lot of the analytics related to my opportunities, of course. And in here, I can see my potential amount by closing date. I can see my potential sales opportunities by stage, based on what stage do I have my opportunities in. And I can keep scrolling through here. Now, let's just say that you wanted a new analytic. You look at this and go, you know what? I'd really like to see some stuff. What's going on by sales rep? I don't see anything by sales rep here. So you have the ability to go into edit mode. And when we do that, that opens up the BI engine, and you're able to now add in any additional AI or analytics that you want. So in this case here, I might like, potential amount, that's not bad. But instead of viewing this by opportunity, this is where, I might really, I think I'd like to view this by the sales rep name. And now I can see by rep who has the most potential amount. Now, I'm not limited to just potential amount. I can also put in weighted amount, and the weighted amount is, it's like, it goes up as we get further to closing the opportunity. It's weighted based on the stage we're at. But here's a brand new analytic we just created from scratch. And now we'll give it a tile. We'll call this opportunities, opportunities by rep. And then in the subtitle here, we'll put in potential and weighted amount. There we go. Now, there is a KPI header. I can turn this on if I want to. And I can decide, what do I want to see up here? So not only do I get a chart and a graph here, I also get a KPI right here. And I can decide, what do I want this KPI to be? Do I want it to be my potential amount? Do I want it to see my gross profit total? I'm thinking my weighted amount makes sense. So we're going to put in here weighted amount based on stage. And we'll go ahead and we'll add our new analytic. So just like that, now we've got a new analytic that shows me all my opportunities by rep, and it weights it by stage. So I'm able to see at what stage, how much of that is, can I actually, maybe include in the cash flow forecast? And then obviously I wouldn't include the potential amount in a cash flow forecast, but I could include the weighted amount in a cash flow forecast if I wanted to. Anyways, I can continue to add analytics, but when I'm done, I'll click Finish Editing. And again, I'm going to go back to my grid. And before I leave, I want to make sure that I save any changes that we might have done. And that's important because now the next time I drill down into my opportunities, then the chart view is going to be just as I left it, as with the card view. And there's our new analytic. So that's kind of a quick peek here. But again, we might start out by, if a client calls you and they're interested in something, we might start out by adding an opportunity. Now, opportunities then can become sales quotes or sales orders, or they could just die. That happens too. But in this example here, I'm looking at all of my open sales quotes. Now, what's really nice about this is that it really minimizes the amount of data entry a user needs to do. And that's because Business One, the web client, it's really delivered all based on best business practices. So for example, here I have a quote, and can take any one of my quotes with a simple check, I can go ahead and I can then copy that over into a sales order. Not only that, I could actually go from a quote to a shipment or from a quote to an invoice as well. But in this case here, we'll just say, you know what, let's just copy this quote over to an order. And that'll now create a sales order from that quote. And here's my sales order. It also shows me how much of the credit my customer has utilized. This will turn red if my customer goes over credit. And now this is what was on the sales order. And if there's anything on here that I might want to change, I can go ahead and do that. And then when I'm ready, I can go ahead and I can add and view. Now, if I am missing any fields, it's telling me no right here, Mike, you need a delivery date. And then it will actually take me to the field that I might be missing. So in this case here, today is April 1st, and the customer would like this on April 12th. So we'll go ahead and select April 12th. Now at this point, I can go ahead and I can view my my sales order. Now, if for whatever reason we couldn't deliver this by that date, there's all kinds of advanced available to promise checks and balances I can turn on as well. And that would have given me a pop-up message that says, Mike, you can't promise this on that date, but you can deliver it by this date, right? And then I can set my date accordingly. So all of those features are built into the system. But that's how easy it is to go from an opportunity to a quote or from a quote to a sales order. Once we've got the order, of course, if you are a manufacturing company, then over here in production, we have the ability to manage all of the bill of materials, to produce the products that are being manufactured, to issue goods into production, receive the finished goods or subassemblies out of production, the ability to create brand new bill of materials with drag and drop. And then, of course, my production receipts and my issues to production. We also support things like backflushing as well and phantom assemblies. So you've got a very strong production capability within Business One, production scheduling, and all of that if it's a make product. Now, if you're in the business of distribution, of course, you're going to be buying products, probably from overseas, and reselling them. In which case we can do the container tracking with those all through the web client. We can do all of the procurement, the running of MRP, the order recommendation report, all that stuff to help manage your supply and demand, all backward scheduled by lead time, is all built into the web client. And we see that here when we look at the main menu system. And so I could be running MRP, I could be running min-max reports and so forth. So if we go across the top here, let's go ahead and put the menu to sleep. You've got a home screen where I've chosen to be able to scroll down into all of the modules that I have access to. We talked a little bit about CRM, full customer relationship management, not just opportunity management and quoting, but post-sales support as well. You know, the whole sales side, the ability to process returns, the ability to do rentals and create return requests for those rentals, things that most companies never even thought of as possible revenue streams. On the sales side, same thing, quotes, orders, reserve invoices are kind of nice. These are invoices that might be for a particular item or service, but you don't want to debit your inventory for whatever reason. Shipments or deliveries, we've got invoices, return requests, customer wants to send something back, we can process those returns, credits. And of course, we didn't talk about the approvals and the alerts, but SAP is full of approvals and alerts. If I slide in my electronic in basket, when we talk about approvals and alerts, those all flow through the electronic in basket. And so if somebody puts in an order and maybe there's a credit issue with the customer, that'll generate an alert, and that could also generate an approval. So the approvals and alerts are a real nice way to practice fire prevention instead of firefighting. As we scroll down a little bit, there's a purchasing module. And in here, we do all of the purchasing activities you would expect, the purchase quotes, purchase orders. We can do purchase requests. The purchase quote's kind of neat because this will send out an electronic email to your supplier where they can actually fill out the purchase quote in the email. And when they click send, it updates Business One real time. So if you're in the business of doing a lot of price quotes, oh my goodness, this can save a ton of time. Purchase orders, again, receipts against inventory. This can throw something into a QC inspection. Goods returns, sometimes things get damaged in shipment or the supplier might make a mistake. We need to return goods back to the supplier. So all of the ducks are in a row here. All of the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed to make sure that there isn't something that falls through the cracks. The other thing that I don't have an icon or a tile here, but is available out of the box, is the ability to do your landed costs and roll your transportation costs, your shipping, broker duties, all that stuff, all of those costs into the cost of goods. Now, moving on, business partners or anybody you do business with, a customer, a vendor, a supplier. Let's jump into our business partners here. And well, here's a typical grid. Now, what I like about this is, if you've got thousands and thousands of customers, pages of customers, of suppliers and leads, you've got your filters up here where you can find something pretty quickly and easily. I can do a search. So for example, if I'm looking for a customer that starts with Earth, I can go out here and do a search and it real quickly found Earthshaker. So it's very easy to find what you're looking for. But what I like to do is I like to, group my columns. And with a right mouse click, by selecting group, I now have all of my customers grouped. And so right now, let me get rid of my filter here for customers. But now you can see if I get rid of that filter, select go, I've got my customers here, which I can quickly and easily see. I've got my leads here, and then I have my suppliers down below. And so I've been able to group those by simply, right-clicking on the group name here and selecting a group. So this gives you the ability to group, and you can ungroup and do all kinds of things in here with these lists. So let's go back out here. That's a business partner, anybody you do business with. Now, one other thing, let's go back into, let me move that around here. Let's go back into business partners. I do want to drill down into one just to talk about some of the capabilities within a business partner. So let's drill down into Earthshaker, and let's take a look at some of the capabilities you have when you're managing your clients or suppliers or leads. So the first thing is you've got some general data here. And then you have unlimited contacts. You can have as many contacts as you want. There's no limit. Same thing with the addresses. Here I've got one bill to, but I could have multiple bill tos, and I have multiple ship to addresses. What's neat about Business One is that one quote or one sales order can ship to all these different locations. I don't need separate orders to do that. And this is where I think people see a big difference between Business One and our competitor solutions. Business One is a very well thought out capability when it comes to both manufacturing and distribution. The ability to do more with less. You're able to ship to multiple distribution centers, as an example, on one order. It'll create multiple shipments, of course, to the different addresses, and then all of that can be consolidated into a single AR invoice. So again, you'll see a lot of that kind of functionality built into Business One. That's the stuff that really cuts down the data entry times. And our philosophy is we want to help companies grow, not grow headcount. And Business One really lends itself well to doing that. So anyways, unlimited contacts, unlimited addresses. One of the other cool things about SAP is how we do the pricing here. So your price list, you get unlimited price lists that could be assigned to customers. You also get special pricing, period volume price breaks, effectivity pricing, pricing that expires. And we haven't even talked about discounts yet, all kinds of discounts. So we haven't run into a situation that we haven't been able to handle from a pricing scenario. All right. And then, of course, support for unlimited user-defined fields. And that's important too, because there's aspects about your clients you want to capture that maybe no system has. SAP is full accounting. So we could do all of the incoming, the outgoing payments, the deposits, the real-time bank reconciliation, that's all there. All the item management, the ability to find alternate items, customer part number cross-references, manage all your bill of materials, miscellaneous receipts and issues, all cycle counting, full inventory, transactional details. So for example, if you want to see what was the value of my inventory last year at this time, you're able to run a report that'll show you that. And then of course, manufacturing. You get manufacturing out of the box. Now, if you're not a manufacturer, that's fine because you get 4 types of bill of materials. So not only do you get the production type of bill of material for manufacturing, but you also get assembly BOMs. So you might have products you assemble during picking, but you don't need a work order for it. That would be an assembly BOM. You get sales BOMs. These are kits, sales kits. You get template kits. These are kits, but they're interchangeable. They're like a configurator. You can configure those kits. And then you also get, so we got a production, assembly, sales, and template type BOM. So those are your 4 types of bill of materials. And then, of course, your full manufacturing environment in order to manufacture products. All of that's there with the back flushing, the manual issue, the full serial lot traceability. That's all built into the manufacturing. Now, once you sell products, you want to be able to maintain those products after this, after sales. So we have service contracts where you can turn your service department into a profit center if you haven't already. The ability to sell service contracts, renew those contracts, bill for those on reoccurring billings, monthly, quarterly, yearly. There's a service knowledge base that as service calls come in, the knowledge base automatically kicks in and will help solve issues as they come up. The more issues you solve, the greater your knowledge base grows. Equipment cards are kind of neat too. Anytime you ship a serialized item, the equipment card is created automatically. Now let's just go down and let's take a look at an equipment card. And equipment cards are pretty cool because they give you details about the equipment that was sold. They give you the location of where that equipment currently resides. Has there been any service calls that have come in for that equipment? In this case here, I can see for my this looks like a Vulcan heater, 70 kWs. I did get a service call where it wasn't powering up. And again, I can drill down into that service call and look at that in detail. I also see that this customer product that I sold to our customer is also covered under a warranty contract. I can see when the warranty started and I can see when the warranty expires, and then any of the related sales data, the traceability, the serial traceability from cradle to grave. So that's all managed. And what's cool about this is I didn't have to do any data entry for that equipment card. This shows that I've got 295 serialized items that I've shipped out that are either under warranty or had the warranties expired. And out of those 5, I've got 5 customers currently under service contracts. So a great after sales support. And again, this is all out of the box. You don't need any advanced modules to do all of this. SAP also comes with human resources where we can do full employee management, capture time cards, timesheet approval, and then of course, all the analytics. Now, there's a lot of analytics and a lot more that you can create. You can fill the screen up. You could fill up pages of analytics. And you have different types of analytics. Now, by different types, I talked about the most common type here, that where if we drill down into a tile like opportunities, I've got my chart view, and then I've got my card view, right? So all of the tiles have those. But then we have some tiles that are really just specific to analytics. So for example, if I want to look at sales analysis, I can then drill down, and this is just a plethora of tiles. And I can scroll through here. I can look at all of my sales analysis details. I can filter this data. Like this is looking at AR invoices. But if I want to base my sales analysis on, let's say, returns, as an example, I can select returns here, and then I can issue that. And now I'm looking at a sales analysis based on returns. So again, you can change the whole look and feel of these analysis pages by selecting exactly what it is you want to see as analysis details on. And so again, if I want to save my view, I can save it, give it a new name. All of that is completely possible. So you also have some really nice tiles that'll just drill you down into nothing but analytics, and then very targeted analytics tiles that'll take me into all my inventory transactions. I like the general overview because it pretty much gives you a little bit of everything. Your sales, it gives you your inventory value, purchasing, your quality, quantity sold, quality details, profitability, and sales order intensity by quarter and item. So I can see, where's my most selling. There's a heat map here, grid charts, just pages and pages of analytics. And I think that's where you'll see the real power of the SAP Business One web client is truly in the analytics. My guess is probably within the next 6 to 8 months, the rich client is rarely going to be used, if used at all. SAP is in a very unique transition. But what makes SAP different than our competitors is that SAP isn't rushing to be web enabled. They're taking a very methodical approach based on leading edge of proven technology. So the web client that SAP is delivering today is going to be the web client that's going to be in use years down the road, right? You won't have to go through major migrations, which our competitors are going to do because they're all based on a WC3 technology, which is very different than the Fiori technology. So it's something to keep in mind. The underlying technology, the underlying architecture of the Business One web client of all the SAP products is that Fiori base, and that's really important from a technology perspective. Lastly, some useful links. So user guides, how to upskill yourself. Here's an example of a user-defined object. Ones I created called a FAQ, frequently asked questions. But that's a quick look at the SAP Business One web client. It contains everything a business needs to run from soup to nuts without the need to buy any additional advanced modules. When you couple this with Saltbox, our plumbing that integrates third-party products seamlessly with Business One, you've got a really good solution that'll take you miles down the road without ever having to go through an upgrade or a change of ERP software. All right, that's all I have for you today. I want to thank everybody for watching and wish you all a great afternoon.